Welcome to KR Tech, your front row. See to all things tech, from the gadgets to tips and tricks. Hit the subscribe button and let's get into our video. Last session we discussed Web API introduction and Web API roadmap and what are the authentication and what is routing and authorization, JWT authentication and HTTP methods, and also we discuss REST versus SOAP in the last session. And today we will go into interview point of questions in Web API day 1 session. Let's get into our video. Question number 1. What is the REST and how to different from SOAP? REST stand for representation state transfer, and REST, it will support multiple media formats. It will support XML and JSON also. And REST is also secure, and SOAP, it will support only XML format. And SOAP is a secure secure API. Anyway, like REST API also is secure, but we need to use HTTPS compared to REST API. SOAP API is very secure. That's the reason, like in any banking application like HDFC or standard chartered account bank, we will use XML application. In Twitter, Facebook, or this kind of application, we will use REST API. Explain HTTP methods and when to use each. HTTP methods like get, post, put, delete, patch. Get, it will use to retrieve the retrieve the data from a server. At the time we will use get API, get method, and post, if you want to add any new data in the server, client to server, at the time we will use as a post API, post method. Put, in a software application, if you wanted to update already existing record name or price or anything, at the time we will use put. And delete, if you want to remove data in the software application, at the time we will use as a delete method. Patch, it is a partially updated, like we wanted to update partially, and put and patches both are used to update the data, but put is suppose uh, we are sending client to server with the three elements like price and name and discount. When we are using put, if you are updating any book price like $10 to $12, at the time with the using of put API call, we will send whole data. If we only updated price $10 to $12, but it will send client to server all three parameters. But we are using with the patch, it will send a client to server only that price. So that is a main advantage of patch. And these are the HTTP methods. And we will use HTTP methods like just now we discussed. How do you secure Web API? Explain JWT and API keys. We will secure JWT. We will secure the web API using JWT authentication and OAuth 2 authentication and Microsoft Entra ID authentication. JWT authentication is one of the most and popular authentication technique in .NET and Web API or any technology. JWT stands for JSON Web Token. To implement JWT token authentication, uh, we will create a application in the .NET. In the app setting in .json, we will declare JWT settings like token and time is valid and those parameters. And each and every user, when we are trying to log in to the software application, it will check whether the person is valid or not, and it will create for the user 1 or user 2, any user with the one token, and it will transfer all the API calls with that particular token. That is called as JWT authentication. API keys, it will handle in client side only, username and password, like that. And next example is what are the status code and how their significance. Given an example, status codes, the main important status code in the web API 200. 200 means like 200 means okay. Like if you are sending any request from client to server application in the server software application, when we are seeing any data from 200, like if you are using get call from client to server application server to the software application, if in 200 error 200 response code will come, it means like the record has executed, like client to server connection has established and it fetch the records. That is the 200. And 201 means like a record is created in the server when we are sending any data client to server to uh, add the data. It will if it is successfully created in the server, at the time it will return as a 201. And 404 is a bad request. Like when we are sending a request is not present in the web API, at the time it will show as a 404. And 400 means not found. Sorry, 400 is not found and 404 is bad request. And 401 is unauthorized. These are the main. And 500 is an internal server error. Like if you are sending client to server in of any software application, if in any error occur in the client side, that 500 will return as a status code to the client application. These are the main status code in the web API. How to implement pagination and filtering in web API with the using of pagination, like uh, just now we discussed, like in previous session, the using of version 1 books slash by 1. It means only return books of book 1. This will implement like pagination in the web API. And filtering also we can use with the question mark and name equal to John earlier something. Explain CORC and CO how to handle CORC issues. If any thought CORC means cross origin request server secure, like it will handle any third party user is trying to access in our application. At the time C cross is showing an error to the third party user to that will handle in our .NET Core application. In program.cs we will declare it as a cross origin, like suppose if you observe any application in our .NET application in program.cs. Here we are not handled. In this we are not generated. Anyway, we are implementing JWT authentication of exercise. In that we will implement this cross also. We'll note down this thing and we will implement that CORC in that also. And we will discuss how to handle that CORS also. What are the RESTful best practices? COD operation. If you are using any COD operation, that will the best practice in the REST API. Once again, one second. Once again, sorry. Versioning and caching, pagination, these all are RESTful best practices. What are the difference between put and patch? Just now we discussed put is if you wanted to update any record at the time we will use put. If you wanted to add update any record with the partially at the time patch will used. And one more big difference between put and patch, uh, when we are sending client to server of any software application, when we are using put, all the parameters will send client to server, not only updated parameter, all the parameters will send client to server. But when we are taken patch, only what are the updated parameter, only that particular that particular uh, parameter will send client to server of any software application. That is the main difference uh, between put and patch. Thank you all, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe our channel to more interview questions. And thank you all. Bye bye. Have a great day.